Welcome to another episode of Well-Adjusted Mama. This is a podcast dedicated to educating and empowering women from preconception, pregnancy, birth, and through early motherhood on wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Dr. Laura Brayton. I'm a maternity pediatric chiropractor, functional medicine practitioner, and mother who has hand-selected experts in natural holistic healthcare specialties to shine light on options and choices during this exciting phase of a woman's life. And today we talk about the topic of how a healthy sleep environment supports postpartum recovery. My special guest is Jack Dell'Accio. Jack Dell'Accio, CEO and founder of Essentia and certified sleep coach, has dedicated over 20 years to analyzing and improving sleep. Jack is particularly passionate about the role of restorative sleep in disease recovery, prevention, longevity, and performance. His expertise has led him to work with some of the world's top athletes, including those in the NBA, NFL, MLS, and over 25% of active NHL players, to optimize their recovery and performance through better sleep. Essentia's organic mattresses have garnered recognition from several esteemed organizations, including the Mayo Clinic's Well Living Lab. For 8 consecutive years, Consumer Reports has ranked Essentia as a top foam mattress. Jack has led a landmark double-blind study with professional athletes confirming that sleeping on an Essentia mattress can extend time spent in REM and deep sleep cycles by up to 20 to 60%, proving their efficacy, enhancing sleep quality. If you want to find out more, you can check out the website myessentia.com. That's myessentia.com. Hi, Jack. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you on today.
Hey, Laura. Thank you. Nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about creating a healthy sleep environment for supporting postpartum recovery, which is a topic that's really important to me. All mama self-care is a big deal, and anything we can do to help new moms recover better from the pregnancy and birth and care for their newborn and child is very important. So I'd love to have you start off with telling a little bit about yourself, your background, and why you're so passionate about healthy sleep.
Absolutely. Thank you. So for me, this started, for my journey started 23, going on 24 years ago. I've always been an entrepreneurial. I had my own business, but had some family members that were going through some major ailments, obviously cancer. So in that period, we were seeing different health practitioners trying to find solutions. And in our discovery, we just realized how important the home environment and the sleep environment was. As we were cleaning up and detoxing the home, I discovered probably one of the most unhealthy parts of your home is your mattress. The highest density of foam, emitting the most toxins. And I was just scratching the surface. So early on, my entrepreneurial side thought there's got to be something better. I was researching for something better. And when I didn't find it, I kind of put my R&D hat on and started working with chemists and biochemists and figuring out how to make a natural environment that had the ultimately what we've developed now, which is beyond latex, which is a slow response foam, latex foam. It's organic. So again, we were looking for pain management. We were looking for non-toxic environment. And that was really how I started this back in 2006. And fast track a few years later, and I started to learn and obsess way more about sleep quality, REM sleep, what it can do for physical healing, mental healing, dealing with depression, dealing with focus, concentration, and developed other patents on how the mattress core was able to help accelerate that kind of recovery, that kind of wellness. And by 2012, I ended up working with professional teams, professional athletes, Olympians, and really they found us. And then I started working with them and really trying to really hone in on how we can help them and support them in having better sleep, better outcomes, and to perform better through those people. Interesting, early on, I learned a lot from people who were severely sick, and they were hypersensitive to everything.
Yes.
I learned a lot from that group. And later on, working with pro athletes, it's a different audience. However, they are super in tune and in touch with their bodies. They know what's right. They know what's wrong. And so I learned a whole lot more from them as well. And all those years of sleep studies with pro athletes, with people who are sick, and really understanding how we move the needle on recovery, wellness. And it was just amazing how it's not just physical health, but ultimately mental health as well. And that touches on everyone. We all go through stress. We all go through different episodes in our life. And it's amazing how powerful sleep can be to help deal with all this.
Sleep is foundational for health, and it's like a third of our life we spend ideally sleeping, right? So quality and quantity matter. Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about quality sleep, I'm interested in what the research that you did to find how to help support people in having better quality sleep. Like everyone knows, okay, I got to give that quantity, right? Ideally, I want to get that 7 to 8 hours sleep as an adult, maybe 9 hours. But we want that sleep to be continuous, right? We don't want to be tossing and turning and having it be restless and waking up and laying in bed for hours. That doesn't count as part of our 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So having that really deep, restful, restorative, healing sleep. What did you find that supports that?
Well, it's really interesting. Quality is way more important than quantity. We're all very different. We all have our internal clocks and have different needs. What we all have in common is our need for REM sleep and deep sleep. The light sleep cycles are not very productive. They don't have much purpose for anyone.
Yes.
So I have athletes who we only get 5.5 hours of sleep, but we get them from 3 to 3.5 hours of REM sleep and deep sleep. Whereas someone else, and a different person, may require 8 or 9 hours to achieve the same 3.5 hours sleep. Again, 3.5 hours is those are good numbers
for the REM.
Yeah, some people are only getting 1 hour, so if you're in bed getting 8-9 hours of whole sleep and only 1 hour, 1.5 hour of REM and deep sleep, you're not getting the outcomes that you need. You're not getting the full recovery.
You'll feel tired in the morning, lethargy, probably your brain doesn't function as well. You're more irritable.
I could kind of compare that to anyone who's been on any sleep aids, sleeping pills. You sleep for 8-9 hours, but you wake up feeling groggy. You don't feel really all that good. A sleeping pill typically keeps you in the light sleep cycles, keeps you unconscious, but it's not keeping you in REM sleep and deep sleep. So you're not really getting the full benefit. That's why I like to tell people sleeping aids are great when you have major injury, major situation that you just don't want to be conscious for. But it's not a real sleep aid as far as getting the full benefits of sleep.
And regarding sleep aid, you're not referring to like melatonin or magnesium? Are you referring more to like prescription drugs?
More on the prescription drugs.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So we know those are the last resort. I would agree. Exactly, so what if someone's not even aware of how much deep REM sleep they're getting? Can an Oura Ring or a watch measure that so you can track how quality your sleep is?
Absolutely. And these days, I mean, the Oura Ring is great for that. So many trackers are able to really give you a pretty precise number on REM sleep and deep sleep. The only thing to keep in mind, anytime you're tracking, there is a margin of error. And so what I like to always suggest is specifically when we're talking to athletes where it kind of gets in your head if you're not sleeping well, and you'll actually not perform as well because you know you're not sleeping as well. So ultimately is to try to aggregate the information on about a 10-day cycle. Okay. Know how you're averaging over 10 days, not a daily routine, and see how you're trending. If you're trending properly, that's fine, because one, there could be some misreadings that happen as much as 20-30% off, but then also, like every night may not be a perfect night, but in 10-day slots, just know how you're trending, and that'll be a better indicator of how well you're sleeping and if you're getting those right numbers. What we do to help people increase those numbers, ultimately, in all of our research, we've realized what's blocking us from getting the ideal sleep are what we're referring to as sleep inhibiting stimulants. So what are stimulants? The number one stimulant is toxins. So if you're sleeping in a toxic environment, toxic mattress, toxic sheets, carpeting, all that kind of stuff, that's stimulating your central nervous system. That gets you out of your REM and deep sleep faster, keeps you longer in the lighter sleep cycles. That's why we really tell people specifically, if you're going for the commercially known performance mattresses that are all polyurethane, they're laced with basically cooling agents that again add to those chemicals. Exactly. So you try to distance yourself from all those products. But the problem is, what we've developed is something that doesn't compromise on the performance. So while we're detoxing your environment, we're still giving proper pressure redistribution of the body, proper spinal support.
I like spinal alignment, Jack.
That's key, right?
Talk about nervous system. If you're out of alignment, you're not going to have a properly operating nervous system, which impacts every part of your life.
And it's a very, we really obsess over these little details, even to the point where people don't realize that the hydration of your spine happens like just on a kind of a pulsating type of way. And if you're not well supported, that's going to inhibit that from happening properly. So that's going to stop you from sleeping well. That's going to stop you from healing properly, right? So that spinal hydration is really, really important throughout the night and throughout the day.
Yeah. And just, wear and tear of our bodies, need to recover while we sleep. And that's what we see, certainly once we're, I would say, over 35, right? Our bodies need more time to recover from just regular acts, nothing like majorly traumatic, but these micro traumas that can add up need to be repaired. So let's talk about a woman who's just gone through pregnancy, given birth. How, important is it for her body to get this proper sleep and for that healing and recovery?
So number one is you're going to have sleep interruptions with a newborn. We've all been through it. Even as a spouse, you're through it. You're helping out. You're waking up every so many hours. So you're not going to get the 8-hour full stretch of sleep.
Right.
However, if we're really getting in and staying into those REM sleep and deep sleep, that basically eliminates a lot of the fatigue, eliminates the stress, the anxiety that comes with everything. And basically, I think the biggest thing for a woman after pregnancy, what proper sleep can do is lift the mental anxiety part, the mental almost even, and if it's too much, it becomes into a depression, right? So really allows the mom to really be in the moment, enjoy the child, and not be over fatigued and over stressed by that situation.
The sleep deprivation, right?
Focusing on the separation rather than focusing on the newborn and the gift that's there, right?
That's right.
That's all kind of how fragile our minds are, and they kind of are in control of our actions and what we do. And sleep is the foundation to having that mental wellness.
It really is. And, you raised such a good point that, fourth trimester is really challenging for all new moms. But the more we can have this self-care includes healthy sleep. We can be more present with our babies. We can be more connected. And when we are more connected with our babies, we see lower rates of postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, right? So that connection is key for mothers' ongoing mental health. And of course, babies' development. Their nervous system is co-regulated by moms, especially. So if mom's nervous system is really out of whack, it's going to be, the baby's not going to feel safe, and they're not going to know why, but they're like, mom isn't feeling safe. Mom's feeling anxious. So therefore I might get eaten by a tiger any second, right? Like this is so, old school nervous system primal behavior. But that's what babies need. So babies that tend to be more colicky and fussy, we see moms tend to be more anxious. So helping that mom ground her energy, balance her nervous system, be more in that parasympathetic rest and digest part of her nervous system is essential for that dyad, that mom and baby together to both thrive.
And you know what? Think of the baby as well. I mean, we often, babies can communicate the major issues. If they're colicky, if they're hungry, if they're stimulated and want to play, they're easy to communicate those. But get them started on non-toxic crib mattresses early on. although babies are resilient and can overcome and but why start?
We don't want our babies exposed to toxins. Exactly. So I would agree, a non-toxic mattress for mom and baby. And, a lot of holistic moms, including myself, I co-slept with my baby the first 4 months. So he was right in bed with me. It supported our breastfeeding relationship. And I slept much better. And he slept much better being in the bed with me those first 4 months. So there's an awareness that not only mom is sleeping on this mattress, but so is baby, right? So a non-toxic environment is so important. You also mentioned, bedding and everything, furniture, carpet, anything that's in that bedroom environment that we're sleeping in, spending these several, third of our life, essentially. We want to be really conscious as consumers about what we're putting in that room.
You want toxins. You want a toxic-free environment. You also want a proper thermal regulation. You don't want to be building up and retaining body heat. You want that body heat to be escaping. So you need to be on a surface that's organic, that's natural, that can allow your body heat to escape. That'll keep you in those deep cycles longer as well. So not to be building up heat. Our bodies are really much aligned to the circadian rhythm of the planet, where when the sun is out, the temperature is higher, your body is stimulated to be awake. Temperatures drop when the sun is no longer there. Well, with that temperature drop, it slows down your central nervous system. That's a second most important stimulant that you want to eliminate is heat. And
right.
Allow the body heat.
We want to be cooler at night when we're sleeping.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I do want to talk a little more about that, because you had mentioned the mattress you created helps that body heat. Like a healthy body is going to produce heat, right? We find that older people might get cold easier. Their body's not making as much heat. But for the average healthy person, there's that heat production, and we don't want to overheat. We don't want to have that get too hot, because that will negatively impact our sleep quality. So there are mattresses that really, I would say a lot of people understand that they want to be on a cooling mattress in a cooler sleep environment. And you mentioned mattresses that use chemicals to help produce that effect. How does the mattress you created do the same thing without the chemicals?
So that's really, really important, because those chemicals are counterproductive to you're eliminating the heating stimulant, but you're introducing the toxic stimulant, right? On top of that, in all of our studies, we've also realized that just adding cold environment or challenging it, introducing cooling is not the key, because it doesn't whatever temperature you start at when you go to sleep, you need to be actively dropping in temperature. It's that decline in body temperature, which is the release of your body heat. That natural occurrence allowing that natural occurrence to happen properly and rapidly throughout the night. So we measure our mattresses the surface will drop 9 degrees over an 8-hour time lapse, which is substantial. And so having that kind of breathability and allowing that body heat to escape is constantly signaling your central nervous system to be moving slow and not to be accelerating and not to be preparing for wake up. As soon as that trend changes, as soon as you're increasing in temperature, well, that's when your central nervous system is picking up speed and prepping for awaken stages. So in what we do in our organic material, in its formulation, it allows this permeation of body heat to flow through.
It's like breathable, is what you're saying.
And it escapes the surface. That's the important thing, is it's not acting up at the surface. So just dropping the body, the room temperature is helpful, but it doesn't really move the needle on REM sleep and deep sleep, because you're still accumulating and trapping heat at the surface of the mattress. So that really needs to be able to flow through the whole mattress. And that's what we've done in our design and our formulation of the product. It's the only one of its kind to be able to do it without the introduction of chemicals.
That's amazing. That's really important. Because both the things you're mentioning totally resonate with me. We want to not use toxins on our mattress and our bedding and anything that's in and around us that we're breathing, we're touching, but also that cooling and that breathability is really important as well. And I'm assuming that you make the crib mattresses, you make children's mattresses, all of the mattresses are the same technology.
All the same technology. They all have that feature. They all have this ability to thermal regulate the body. And it's really, it really is a game changer, because you have to figure, and I see this with athletes all the time, where their body heat is just goes up because they're just
they have a fast metabolism, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not the same every single night. So what are you going to play around with temperature in the room, temperature for cooling pads, but really just allowing the body heat to escape naturally. We'll do it at the rate that it needs to be done every single night. So if they're just kind of just finished training and their systems are full speed ahead, they're producing a lot of body heat, well, that at that rate will escape much faster than on a training day off. But it's the same for all of us. We don't all have the same routine every single day. And based on that day, our if it's a training day, if it's not training day, we all try to keep a little active. So based on the routine of that day, we'll have to expel way more body heat one day over another.
It's fascinating. I have a 7-year-old son, and he gets so hot. Like, his metabolism is moving, and he's very, very active. And I notice, like, when he's sleeping sometimes, like, he really starts to get hot. So, like, even these types of bodies, right? Like, they need to really get all that heat out of them. It's like a cleansing, right? And we don't want them, I don't want him sweating and overheating while he's sleeping, because that will, that's not healthy for his body to be doing that.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. And that's our number 2 thing, toxins, and then followed by body heat regulation. Those are really 2 really important factors in getting a whole lot of deep sleep and REM sleep. There are other factors as well. So, that a lot of people are really starting to understand the impacts of EMFs.
Yes.
Especially with wireless technologies, they're all around us everywhere. And, we work with institutional customers, with sports teams. So everything we do has to be evidence-based. So we can't just be talking. So when it came to EMFs, the challenge was, what can we do, especially with people who don't want to let go of technology. So while some people are extreme and they're willing to shut down all technologies, but technology is everywhere. We almost can't control it, from our neighbor's house to satellites, everything that's around us.
Right.
So we were able to, this has been 3 years now that we've updated our formula with an informed quartz. And we were able to show, not that we weren't blocking EMFs because they're all around us, but we were able to show the impacts of EMFs on blood flow at a cellular level. So these EMFs are very erratic. They come from all directions, and they force a kind of a stacking of blood cells to kind of stagger together and not allowing as much oxygen to properly flow through. So with the informed quartz, we were seeing that we didn't get any of those impacts. So
what is it called? Informed quartz?
Informed quartz. So the quartz basically has...
It's a crystal?
Yes. Yeah. So it has basically a mineral. So ultimately, it has a dominant low level frequency, which is organic, and it follows what our bodies need to follow, instead of an erratic behavior by cell phone towers and Wi-Fi signals. So which basically makes our blood cell behave erratically. So having this dominant wave keeps us in a grounded organic environment. So
it's grounding. Yep. So you actually use quartz in the mattress?
In our latex formula, yes.
Oh, that's fascinating. And this quartz is a mineral coming from the ground.
Correct. Yes.
Which would explain its grounding properties. Yes. That is really, I've never heard of a mattress that uses that. That's very cool.
We're the only ones.
And this is only as of 3 years ago.
Correct. Yep.
Just in time for the pandemic.
Crazy.
Yeah, totally. I like that. That's cool. So all of your mattresses had that technology as well.
Yes.
And
Correct.
Tell me, are there any other factors that can help with healthy sleep quality?
Well, when it comes to what we focus on the mattress, obviously it's pressure redistribution, spinal support, as I mentioned, elimination of toxins, allowing proper thermal regulation, EMFs, those are the major ones that we kind of contribute in our research and what we've done as a product. Then there's things outside of that, in the bedroom is
sleep hygiene,
decluttering, having a consistent sleep routine, eliminating stimulants of lights. When it comes to sounds, some can be relaxing and beneficial. Others can be a stimulant as well. So figuring out what's right for each individual and having that proper hygiene scheduling is really, really important as well. Our systems are amazing on if given the opportunity, they're able to predict, and whether it be time of day, when it recognizes that it's the onset of sleep time, it will be slowing down and it will be expecting to go to sleep at that time if you're consistently giving it that same downtime. It might be triggered by aromatherapy. It may be triggered by certain sounds. It's definitely triggered by change of lighting. All these things really help accelerate the onset of sleep. But once you've done all that, that's when it's in our hands. What we do from when you fall asleep to when you wake up, well, that's where Essentia's really become the specialist, because that's when the real change happens, when we get you into deep sleep and REM sleep for as long as possible. We did a study with 75 pro athletes. That's going on 2 years. And we increased their REM sleep and deep sleep from as little as 20% to as much as 60%, wow. Which is incredible numbers. Those are game-changing numbers.
Yeah, I mean, that recovery is huge. And athletes have to recover, but so do everybody else. We all need that recovery.
Absolutely.
And you also mentioned people that are very sick. We see really all of this dis-ease is related to inflammation and toxic overload, right? And whatever the diagnosis is, it doesn't even really matter. So anything we can do to support the foundations of health, which sleep is a primary one, and supporting those detox pathways, right? And then not retoxing, right? Like you mentioned. Yep. So we could be actively taking all these supplements and doing the saunas and getting all these toxins out during the day. But then if we go to a toxic bedroom, then we're just retoxing again and not getting the optimal results, because unfortunately our environment is so toxic in general.
Well, I always refer to athletes, but that's just because they're our subjects and they go through extremes. So, all of our case studies they're great to do all these test studies with. However, it does apply to everybody. It 100% applies to everybody. Yep. So
Jack, tell us what your company is and like where people can find more out about your products.
Sure. Company is called Essentia. For essential oils, we were the only ones who have blended our patented foam with essential oils. And
you didn't mention that earlier. Yeah. You were saving that for the end.
It's not for aromatherapy benefits, but it really is odorless. However, that's part of our formulation that allows for the performance benefits, whether it be the density that it has, the consistency that it has, the elasticity that it has.
Well, there's energetic properties to these oils, right? Yes. So that's what's getting infused in the latex.
Yep. Yeah, so it's just amazing because it's also a mold prohibitor. It's there's so many benefits to how
versus more chemicals, right?
Correct. Yes, and everything's organic, so everything well balanced. Everything keeps you connected.
Hypoallergenic. You mentioned mold. Yeah. What about dust mites? I know that's a big deal with a lot of mattresses.
So again, because we use an organic rubber, that's not attractive. It's not conducive for nesting. They can't burrow through it. It's ultimately a rubber. It's an organic rubber. So
it's latex. What about somebody with a latex allergy? Any issues?
No issues there. We actually been tested by Johns Hopkins for that specifically for children. That was a concern that we wanted to make sure we overcome. In our processing, we eliminate all the proteins, and people are not allergic to latex; they're allergic to the proteins from the latex.
That makes sense.
So that's something that's been debunked on our products. So we obsess over every little detail.
Wow. And, so people can go. Is it essentia.com?
It's myessentia.com.
Okay.
Myessentia.com. There's tons of articles, tons of research on there. Go there if you just want for the education. obviously go there for the products.
What if you want to, like, a lot of people like to lay on a mattress when they're testing out mattresses? Is there any showrooms in different areas that people can test it out?
Pre-COVID, we had 20 showrooms. Post-COVID, we're down to 2.
Where are they?
Just in Toronto and Montreal, Canada, where the product was originally from. However, these days our reputation has been strong enough that we haven't needed the showrooms. We do have a 120-day trial.
Okay.
So we stand behind the product. If that doesn't work, we can swap it up for a different one, or just issue a refund. We don't get too many people bring them back just because it really is, we put so much thought, so much care into the product, and our specialists really, they can be on the phone with you over chats, and we really try to make sure we're getting the right fit of the right mattress. It's not a vast collection. I believe we only have 6 models plus the children's model and the crib mattress. So there's not a vast amount of products. It's just about getting the right posture support and whatever outcome somebody's looking for. So it's not a huge choice. They all feel awesome. They all
Is there a firm support?
So our latest technology is a very active support system. So in our performance beds, they actually adapt to all posture types. So it's all about which outcomes you want. So we have a performance model that'll drop 7 degrees over 8-hour time lapse, another one that drops 9 degrees over 8-hour time lapse. So it's about, some of the fine tuning of how important is sleep to you? How obsessive do you want to be? Because again, there's no limits to our obsession on how much we want to get REM and deep sleep going. So that would be a differentiator. And on our lifestyle mattresses, they're temperature neutral. So it won't drop 9 degrees, but it's a temperature neutral, so you won't heat up in bed. Mm-hmm. And those ones there, you would have a choice from a firm, medium, or a soft feel.
Okay.
So that, and then really that's the only coaching that you need to go through in selecting a mattress. We stand behind all of them, 20-year warranty on all of them. But again, we make them with love and care and passion. And think about who our audience was. There were people who were, in many cases facing the challenge of their lifetime. A lot of them terminally ill, a lot of them recovering. That's kind of how Essentia was born, is taking care and nurturing towards those people there. Then going into, some of the, top athletes of the world sleep on Essentia as well. So you look at our audience, that we built this with care. We built this wanting to make people sleep well, sleep better, and thrive, and really take themselves to a different level. So we're that way with every single part of that relationship, from the product to how we engage with the customers and how we want to support them and make sure we're there for them. And
these are made in Canada with love?
Yes, they are. They are made in Canada.
Canadian.
I'm originally from Canada. I'm here in the U.S. For the last 10 years.
Okay.
And we have a lot of things going on in the U.S. as well. But still, the pouring of the latex is all done in our just outside of Montreal facility.
Excellent. Well, Jack, I am so grateful for you taking the time to come on the show today. Your passion for healthy quality sleep is evident, and I really appreciate you sharing all your knowledge around how to support families in improving their sleep quality.
Well, thank you, Laura. I really appreciate being on here. Thank you for listening to my story.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Jack. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to creating that healthy sleep environment, and really why it's so important that all of us, whether we're an infant, a new mom, or anybody in between, needs quality sleep and proper quantity for each individual. And knowing what your sleep requirements are is very important for optimal health, wellness, healing, and function. Once again, if you want to find out more about Jack's revolutionary products, his mattress and organic bedding line, you can check out the website myessentia.com.